Jesse,
Brees.
it's time to juice those bits.
Oh, thank
It's another
God.
juicy bit.
My bits are in need of juicing.
Canadian politics is boring, juicy bits.
Canadian politics is boring, juicy bits.
Hi everyone, this is Juicy Bits. If you're new to the show and you don't know what Juicy Bits are, they're just very short versions of our normal episodes where we react to the news in a much more dynamic way.
Yeah, so our normal episodes are typically historical, and our juicy bits are like, oh shit, this just happened. Let's tell Jesse about it and see if he finds it interesting.
And if not, yeah. And also, feel free to suggest us Juicy Bits.
Oh yeah, send us an email.
If you're like, oh, I want Reese and Jesse to talk about this headline, then we will, if you do it and we have time.
Send us an email or send us a speak pipe or just go to Reese's house. He likes that.
Yeah, just turn up at my house and meet the bears.
Yeah. All right, what's the juicy bits? Let's get it on. Do it.
Juicy Bits. So, do you ever go on
Why are we
Twitter?
laughing?
Do you ever go on Twitter?
No.
Have you heard of the CBC?
Yes.
Have you heard of Justin Trudeau?
Yeah.
Have you heard of Pierre Poilievre?
Yes.
Have you heard of Elon Musk?
Yes.
This involves all of them.
Okay.
So what happened was,
Okay. This involves all of them?
Twitter has been labeling certain broadcast outlets as government funded. So they labeled the BBC as government funded.
I mean,
It's
Is
the
it?
BBC is license payer funded. The government doesn't have any control of the BBC.
Oh, that's
Everyone who owns a TV in the UK pays roughly £200 a year to own that TV. It's a license, and that money then goes to pay for all the BBC's programming.
that's really neat.
But
But
obviously
that's-
it's changed now because people have multiple screens, so now it's a license to watch all BBC content on devices in that household. It's changed.
They still have to pay $200 a year. For
Yes, yeah.
that. Okay.
But that's what. But people don't mind. Like people don't mind because you get
Right.
British TV's way better. Than
It's so
Canadian
good,
TV.
man. It's so
Way better than
it's
Canadian
way
TV.
better than every TV out there. It's incredible. The BBC is incredible.
So it's good value for, and also the BBC can sell that content abroad, so they actually make money
Nice.
by selling
Nice.
like Doctor Who.
But the CBC is government.
It is government funded, but
sure.
Trudeau doesn't have direct control. It is government funded, but
Right. Yeah.
it's overseen differently. So, but a lot of the time, people are saying it's being used to discredit kind of news outlets. The whole kind of like Poilievre saying, "Oh, the CBC is controlled by the Liberal Party right now because he's not in power." To say it's government funded means, "Oh, you shouldn't trust this. It's Trudeau's news."
Right.
When he's in power, then I don't know. I don't think he's thought that far ahead.
Right. Yeah. If CBC wanted to reach out and do an interview with him when he's in power, would he say no?
He's like, but you're government funded. Bearing in mind, though, as well, he spent his whole life in politics, so he's government funded
Right.
his entire life.
Ah, that's funny.
But what he was doing, Poilievre was like on Twitter prodding Elon, going, yeah, Elon, you know, and you get like a bully in school, and there's like a little guy who just tries to get a bully to do mean
What was
things
he saying to him?
people. You should label the CBC as government funded too. And Elon was like, all right.
Oh fuck.
So look, Justin just went in the bathrooms. Let's go and give him a wedgie.
So what? Did Elon responded?
He did. They labeled CBC as government funded.
It is government funded, though.
It is government
It's not
funded.
a lie.
But it's being used as they use it in a derogatory way, as if to say to Poilievre. Most people would go, yes, it is government funded, but to Poilievre, it's great for his base because he's linking the CBC with Trudeau as like a mouthpiece of the Liberal Party. So for him, to his base, it makes sense. Most rational people will go, well, it is government funded,
Right.
but then the CBC then said, oh, we're less than 70% government funded. They generate revenue in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
So Elon Musk, the pedantic world's richest man with way more time on his hands than he should have, changed it to 69% government funded on their Twitter feed.
Just because toilet humor is fun?
I guess so. Or just because I'm sure he's got better things to do. Like
Right.
you said, to go and build something crazy with your money.
Right.
But,
Seriously.
you know.
Build an Iron Man suit already. For
Exactly.
fuck's
Just
sake.
do it.
Right.
The Tony Stark this reality deserves. He's such a fucking loser. Anyway. And now CBC is leaving Twitter.
Good. Fuck him. Not fuck CBC. Fuck Twitter.
No, it's just like, yeah. So, but also Poilievre now is like giggling away because he made the bully punch someone bigger than him.
Right.
And also people are saying, why are you using like leveraging US billionaires to affect politics in Canada and like score these points? And it's it's kind of is very childish.
Well, I mean, look who we're talking about here.
Fundamentally, is incredibly childish.
Yeah, but that's politics, man.
And I'm sure that
That's politics. It's
Just
not about what you
childish-
do. It's about pointing out what other people do. That's it. It's a giant schoolyard fight of he said this and she
That's all it
said
is.
that and he
Just-
did that and
yeah,
he did. It's just
It's happy slapping. That's what it is.
Yeah, I've been saying this from the beginning, man. None of this is surprising.
So anyway, it's now kind of like, so the CBC receives $1 billion in taxpayer money.
Jesus, you think they'd make better fucking content?
Yeah, but what they're saying is it's government funded, but it has editorial independence.
Right.
So while it's government funded, it's not government controlled. Is what they're
That's
trying to say.
right. That's
But people will people will read it as,
of course.
you know,
Yeah, certain people will read it as government controlled. There's nothing you can say to convince them otherwise.
Yeah.
Nothing.
but also now people in Quebec are also pissed off because like that their Radio Canada is also government funded, but is also an important part of that funding is an important part of maintaining French culture and French content. So
Yeah, of course.
they're kind of like turning on him from that too. And also,
But it's not.
he wants to defund the CBC anyway
Of course. Yeah.
for reasons because
They wouldn't have him
you
on.
don't need the CBC anymore. You've got 14-year-olds with YouTube channels playing Minecraft, according to Polyev, I imagine. So is what I find really funny about this is just that it is just like a pointless, stupid thing. But then I think CBC did the right thing by just going, well, fuck it, we just won't be on Twitter anymore.
Right? Yeah, seriously. Just, like, honestly, Twitter's a giant fucking hate-fueled anger fest for self-absorbed fuck farts.
It is.
That's a new term.
Wank farts.
Wank stains and fuck farts.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just wanted to talk about that because I thought I found it entertaining at first because it was just it was like watching somebody else have a fight in the street.
With nobody?
But like it's an entertaining fight. No one's actually getting hurt. They're
Right.
just pulling at each other's clothes. It's kind of embarrassing. Someone rubs
Really drunk.
someone rubs ketchup in somebody else's face, and they're just fuck off. It's kind of like watching a drunk fight where nobody gets hurt,
Right.
and just to stand there. And I found it entertaining on that level. Whether it'll have any implications further ahead, but I guess it's hard though because Polyev, the more he picks on CBC, the less likely they are to be nice to him.
Right?
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a
nationwide media conglomerate saying, no thanks, Polyev, we're never going to interview you.
You tell us we're the enemy all the time and that we're attacking you now, but it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
That's never
so,
going to happen, though. If he
in a
gets in power,
sense-
CBC will
in a
still
sense,
interview him. Yeah.
I know, yeah. In a sense, like they've got to be impartial and still treat him with respect as a leader of the opposition, and he's doing that. It's interesting. Where will it go, Jesse?
It'll go the way it's going. Polyev is a child. He's a giant.
He's
greedy-
the child.
He's the child. He's their child. He's Canada's child. Canada's toddler.
Canada's child.
Polyev is entering his terrible twos right
Canada's angry child.
now. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's
Right.
not funny. That's the
Canadian
funny
Politics is Boring.com, patreon.com/Canadian Politics is Boring, or Canadian Politics is Boring at gmail.com if you want to visit our site, support us, or send us an email.
shit. And if you want to send us your hot take on today's Juicy Bits, you can leave us an anonymous voicemail at speakpipe.com/Canadian Politics is Boring. There you go.
You can also do it on our website too. There's a little button to leave a voice
Oh, is there?
message
Oh,
on.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's neat.
Well, I set it up. You didn't even know.
I didn't.
No.
You constantly marvel me.
I know.
Yeah.
Mr. Marvel.
Canadian politics is boring juicy bits.
Canadian politics